What is going on, everybody? If you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned into a very special edition of the HFWB podcast series. Once again, this is your host, Clifton Pope, and with me today, I literally have probably one of the most special families I think I've ever met in quite some time because it's incredible what they're doing. I mean, if you don't know who exactly I'm talking about, you really should because you are sleeping on what it is that they're bringing to the community and everything that's going on in general. With that being said, I'm going to introduce Mr. Hershel Shoats and his wonderful daughters, who
Hello.
he likes to call the Game Seven, as far as Graysen, Avery, Marley, and Sonny. You see what I did there as far as the Game Seven? Now you know. Welcome aboard, Hershel. Welcome aboard, girls.
Yes, sir. OCO Denali.
Well, Herschel, let me ask you this, man. Tell the people as far as what it is yourself does and what it is that the girls do, because a lot of people don't know as far as what y'all bring to the table as they should.
Right. Well, I am a father of actually 7 beautiful daughters with a beautiful wife here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Um, the 4 latter are here with us now, which is like you said, which is Grayson, Avery, Marley, and Sonny.
I love
Um,
it. I love
I
it.
I currently have a job, but I do work at FedEx, but at the same time, I'm full-time dad after 10 o'clock. You know, we homeschool. We've taken
Mhm.
them out of the norm
Yes,
of what society wants to deem as what they wanted to raise it as, but we've taken them
yes,
out of the norm and
yes.
taken the programming away from our kids and
Mhm.
from ourselves and indoctrinated more so a justified way of living amongst each other, which is more so identity, you know.
Right,
But
right.
uh, I I also have a gym, which is Oz the Gorilla Village, a jujitsu gym and strength and conditioning, which the girls are also my #1 students at.
I was,
Um,
I was just about to ask you about that, Herschel. I actually have that
yeah,
pulled up here in front of me. Tell us a little bit about that because a lot of people don't realize how deep and invested you are into the martial arts world, into the health and wellness world. Break that down for the people who are listening to the HFWB podcast series.
yes, indeed. Actually, we have a health and wellness is Silverback Wellness. I've been in health and fitness, oof, bodybuilding. I was #2 for in Texas. It's bodybuilding. You can Google me. I was in 2017. I was 3rd in the world in jujitsu as a blue belt, as a heavyweight. My health and fitness, I've been a personal trainer for people for almost 20 years. I've got athletes under my belt that you wouldn't believe that do a variety of things from baseball, basketball, football, wrestling, jujitsu, and this is my favorites right here, these 2 right here. So I don't just talk it, I walk it. You see what I mean?
I respect that, and I remember Herschel whenever I visited your gym and I was just watching your girls train. It was incredible how well you have developed them into the way that they are right now. Because it's like I told you within that conversation, they are ahead of their time, if not ahead of their time's time. The way I look at it, I was just blown away, and it's incredible. Speaking of the girls, I would like to ask them, but how did this curly girl care come together? Because I'm looking at this right now. This is just incredible stuff. Incredible. How did this all come together? Where did all this spark come from?
It started from all our homeschooling, and we started it after, no, wait, during the pandemic, and
Mhm.
we wanted more, how to learn more, and we love cooking. We always help in the kitchen. Yeah. We want to help people with like sensitive skin, like eczema or
I
dry
love it.
skin. All that stuff. We got our hair care, we got our body, and we also got our multivitamins called Game 7.
I took them to more so a spiritual thing back to being rooted in who they are
Right.
is how it actually started. And this is what's come of it.
I love it. I really do. And if for those who are watching it right now, she just showed the gummies right there. It's incredible. Like where did like all this like come from as far as like I wanted to like build my own empire? Because it's like this is basically what y'all are doing is building a whole empire. Like what inspired y'all or who influenced y'all to do this?
Literally, believe it or not, prior to the pandemic, we all remember the George Floyd incidents.
Yeah.
It all actually started there, believe it or not. Taking self back, taking our minds back, decolonizing our minds, starting in the home. I got back into reading, things from G.M. James, George G.M. James. I got back to reading about Malcolm again. I got back to reading about my roots. I got back to reading about who I am personally, and which started the whole backing of searching out ancestry, which again led back to me saying, know thyself. And that's where all this came from. It was a spiritual walk.
Mandate, know thyself.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize that the George Floyd situation, when it did happen, I don't think people understood how deep it was. It was more than
it wasn't the pandemic, it was the George Floyd incident. People, they want to throw that out there because, but this is what really, really turned everything up on its heels, is that incident.
Yeah, and sometimes it just needs some incident like that just to spark you just to do better.
Yes.
And honestly, whenever that happened, it just made me realize, okay, I need to like step my own game up because you never know where you can go. That's from what I took out of it, and that's what led to me doing what I'm doing as well. So it's always that little spark to where you just it flips like a switch within yourself, and then it's like, hey, I know what my purpose is, and now I know what I need to do.
Yes. It sets you on that spiritual path to where you can, and once you see it, you can't turn back. You can't turn back.
Exactly. But the main reason I wanted to bring y'all on today is we got to talk about this Juneteenth schedule that's coming out. I mean, what does Juneteenth, Hershel, mean to you and your family personally, as far as how y'all celebrated over the years?
Personally, it's always been something rooted in our family. My family's from Kansas and Oklahoma area.
Right.
We actually are deeply rooted in Black Wall Street. Most of my family dealt with all that back then. Our history is deep, but we never showcased it like they're trying to do over the last couple of years. It's just been an integral, we know what we need to do type thing, celebrate ours, but this last couple of years, it's been one of those healing things. Let's bring everybody into it, let them see how it feels, and it's getting broader. I just don't want it too commercialized till you see too many people that don't look like us making money. That's my issue with that. I'm like, there's already been enough of that off the backs of those that day has came to, Juneteenth has come to,
Yes.
But
you alluded to something a little bit earlier, Hershel, as far as how you're deeply rooted in the Black Wall Street. And it's funny because most people don't understand you're actually putting together a Black Wall Street event for Juneteenth. Tell the people about that a little bit more, Hershel, and tell how, of course, your girls are going to be involved, because I don't think they realize is that your girls are literally going to be sponsoring the event and all that.
That's them. Yes, it's every bit of it. Yes. June the 12th, Sunday Fun Day. It's going down from 4 to 8 p.m. I believe it's 7155 Bichon on Yorktown Avenue at Lazy Beast Brewery. What happened was a couple years ago, because we needed to create our own space, it felt like all that was going on, you couldn't get a good vibe. Everybody's wearing masks, and it just, there was no connection. You couldn't see a smile. That's not how we live in my home, you know, and we wanted to do something that would bring us together as as a community, as a Black community, but also as a healing process, is something to smile about as in Corpus Christi as well, but in our space. Because we didn't feel comfortable going here, comfortable going there. We invited people into our space, and it became a nice thing last year. So we renamed all the beers and everything, and ancestral names and all that good stuff. We have fun with it. But the girls have become awesome entrepreneurs in doing so. That's one of their things. They've become not only great marketers, they became awesome promoters. And these are the things we try to do with homeschooling, not just show them how to be producers. What did we say with poised? What does poised mean?
Producing. P stands for producing. O stands for ownership. I stands for investing. S stands for savings. E stands for equity and
Entrepreneurs. There you go.
And then the 3 P's
I
is
love
practice.
that.
Then we have 3 P's. What are the 3 P's?
Practice, preparation, and perseverance.
That's what we do.
For anyone who's listening to the podcast right now, who just heard what these young girls just said, that is something that needs to be applied, not only just for myself, but for anyone who is listening, which is the 3 P's: practice, persevere, and what was the 3rd P? I'm sorry.
Preparation.
Preparation. Practice, persevere, and preparation. I love it. And that's exactly what creates success down the road all the way around. So I love that strategy, and I love how you instilled it in them while they're still young and growing, because as they get older, they're going to just be more and more dangerous because they're only going to know what to do. They just got to put their mind to it and do it. So Hershel, you've done super well. And girls, I just want to tell y'all are way ahead of the game, and you're inspiring me to even step my own stuff up. So I appreciate that truly. And I want to talk to y'all as far as like, what can they expect from curly hair care? As far as like, what is y'all's favorite go-to products that y'all would recommend y'all get?
Well, we got our gummies, which is good too, and then we got
Hair care.
We got hair.
Which one do you like the best?
The roots.
The roots.
Yeah. I love the 3.
Which one?
The oil that has a 3 side on it.
Oh, okay. There's one called the roots. I think mommy's going to grab a bottle. And what's the other one called?
I think it's like a 3 with a 3 sign on it.
With the number 3. There's a system of 1, 2, 3. So she likes the conditioning one of the 3.
So
shampoo, a conditioner, and here it is.
This is the roots. And then here's butter, and it's black castor oil, Jamaican black castor oil.
Oh my
You
God.
rub it in, you put it in your hair.
I need to eventually get me a hand on this stuff so I can just see it for myself, because that's incredible. It's like, I never thought I'd see the day where I'd see basically young entrepreneurs, young girls having nice hair, skin, and skin products to where they can basically push it to everybody. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's beautiful, Hershel. I love it. Another thing I wanted to actually mention is that a lot of people don't realize this, is that we're going to be putting together our own lunch and learn event at your gym, which is basically it's going to be like a martial arts presentation. And go ahead and explain, Hershel, what does martial arts and everything mean to you, the girls, and everything? Because for me personally, martial arts has always been a part of my life. Like I was in it in middle school. I finished at like a 2nd degree black belt before I stopped back in high school because I wanted to focus more on basketball at the time. But give a little bit of background on what martial arts means to y'all exactly, and what y'all learned from it, I should say.
Well, in my family, fortunately, unfortunately, when I grew up, I was always taught to punch something. That, unfortunately, is not the right way to teach a kid when they're growing up, is take your anger out and let me teach you how to punch something. We don't realize that as parents because we grow into adults punching something.
Yeah.
So So I didn't teach my girls to punch until now. They're 7, 8 years old. Their mind can understand things. So I teach them more so a spiritual walk with themselves, of breathing, meditating, but also how they can learn from someone else's breath, how they can manipulate someone else's breath, how they can listen to someone else's breathing and dictate their emotions on whether they need to fight back or run. I teach them to run 99.99% of the time.
Exactly.
1%, you are not going to corner none of my kids.
I love that philosophy, and I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure it's been working up to this point because you've done well with raising them the way you have, Hershel. That's for sure, and I love it. It's just an honor just to even be doing this to begin with. But I want to ask you this, as far as what would be like three key pieces of advice you would give to anyone who is basically trying to go into the journey of entrepreneurship that you could think of off the top of your head? And this is for everybody.
Off the top of my head, we've got to lay down old doctrines, number one.
Mhm.
So decolonizing your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
We all need to pick up some older books by Dr. John Henry Clark and see where we need to go with this whole thing.
Mhm.
And I did say Dr. John Henry Clark, he'll help you out. He's an ancestor. And we also need to understand the game that is being played on us to keep from loving ourselves. Those three things. Once you find that out, all of this is easy. This is easy. Raising them is easy. Once you find out the games that have been played through all that I just said, raising your seeds will be the most easy and joyful thing you've ever done.
And I want to take a quick little glance into the future as far as everything y'all have going as far as y'all's whole entire empire. And believe me when I say this, for those who are listening, you don't understand how much of an empire it is that they're already building. Where do you picture this going within like a 3 to 5 year window, if that's even possible, as far as seeing that far ahead?
Oh, I already know where we're going to be. It's enjoying this bubble we've been put in to allow the greatness to manifest inside of this bubble, because when it bursts, you're in trouble. You see what I'm saying? We can only grow so much inside the environment we're in, so much, but we think outside of it. And that's what has gotten us to where we are now. Everybody out here thinks in the same paradigm. The Shoats family does not think in this bubble at all. So we've branched out, and that's where we're going with it. So when I leave, they're going to be billionaires. I tell my wife all the time, they've already been set up. The creator sees this the way it's supposed to be. So, yeah.
So the moral of the story is we're taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, and look at how far we come, and look at how far we're going to continue to go.
Yes.
That's beautiful, and that's the exact same philosophy I believe in, because it's like you got to focus on what you can control versus what you can't.
Yes.
If you focus on what you can't control, you're going to drive yourself crazy every single time. So you got to stay within your own bubble, and that's pretty much my whole entire philosophy in life, and that's how I continue to excel, and that's how you're continuing to excel, Hershel, and that's how the girls are excelling, and that's how the whole entire family is excelling, by that simple philosophy. Stay within your bubble and control what you can control. As far as those who are listening right now, that's what I want y'all to take out of this. Now, as I wrap everything up, Hershel, I just want to ask y'all basically a list of questions that I ask everybody as far as who comes on the podcast. My first question is going to be interesting because I would love to hear this answer. What would be the first thing everyone within the household does the moment they wake up every single day?
What do they all do?
Say thank you to the creator. Then we get in the kitchen and drink some water. Go outside and bless our Earthly Mother and Heavenly Father.
Eat some grass, go in the bathroom,
Wash your faces, then clean the bathroom. Clean our room for 10 minutes. Eat breakfast, then brush your teeth, then prepare our crown.
I love it. That is a system.
7-step plan. They have a 7-step plan they have to do every morning before they have to wake up, say thank you. They just said that. They wake up, say thank you, meditate for 10 minutes before they move out of their bed. Then they get their day going. Then they come out, they bless, they look up, they bless the Heavenly Father. They enjoy the Heavenly Mother by eating a blade of grass. You heard them say that. This is what we do.
I've never heard said before, and I love it. That's something different. That's what we're all about. Bringing something different. I love it.
This is what we do.
I've never heard that one before. That's gonna stick with me now, Hershel. That blew my mind. But
I thank that which I came from.
This is true, and that you can't get more truer than that. That's for sure. And I feel like y'all are more than overqualified to answer this next question I'm about to ask y'all. What is your personal definition of health and wealth in y'all's vision? The best way y'all can define it.
Health and wellness is peace of mind. Peace of mind. That's health and wellness in this family.
I love it. And that's pretty much all it is peace of mind, you know? It's like all we're trying to do is find peace.
We eat, we always veggies out, so.
And fruit out.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane.
Somebody.
There you are.
Okay.
But y'all were talking about peace of mind as far as the best definition of health and wealth in y'all's eyes.
Yes, that's why they wake up and say thank you and meditate first for that first initial peace of mind, and then that carries you down. Yeah.
You got to, and that's something that I do myself every single morning. I always like to meditate for at least 5 to 10 minutes a day. It's just, you don't feel right if you don't meditate to start off your day. It's just something about that. It's like, even to this day, it's like, if I don't meditate to start my day off, the day is completely off and I just don't feel the same, you know? You have to meditate, and I encourage everybody to do that because
I concur.
Yes. When y'all aren't doing everything that y'all are doing on a regular basis, because I know y'all are super busy, what are some of the favorite kind of hobbies and activities y'all like to do as a family, so to speak?
Beach. We're always at the beach.
Yeah.
That's our main thing is nature.
And Avery keeps waiting to go to Hurricane Alley.
I keep waiting because it's my favorite water park.
We're always outdoors,
Anytime on Monday, Dad hangs out with us and goes to the beach.
So basically, what would you say y'all's favorite memory would be at the beach if y'all can think of one off the top?
We are playing hide and seek with Marley. Marley keeps finding us. And we are playing tag with her. She tried to tag us.
And mine would be watching my father walk with all my kids. Yeah.
Those are special moments that will be held dear to the hearts, definitely for sure. My last question I have for everyone is quite an interesting one. If y'all had the ability to basically talk to yourself maybe 5 years ago, what would you say? And what would you see yourselves, y'all's brands, and everything y'all have going within a 5 to 10 year window?
I was only 3.
I was only 2.
But where would you see yourself 5 years from now?
Like, what would you tell like your younger self?
What would you tell your younger self? Go ahead.
That you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a very common answer. That's a very common answer.
You would tell me?
Yep.
Did you hear this? You hear Avery?
Yes, Avery.
She said, be a better father. Wow.
I love
This
this.
is off the chain.
Yes,
She said
yes.
she would tell her 2-year-old self to tell her 2-year-old self to
To tell her daddy to be a better father.
That's funny. That's funny.
oh man.
Yeah. But overall, though, where can we all basically where can we get in contact with you? Where can we get all the products, the services y'all have to offer? Let them know where we can find all this. This is y'all's time to shine. Let them know.
What?
What media, social media, with Curly
Where
Girl.
can we find y'all on social media, the curly hair, products,
Instagram.
everything?
Which Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's on Facebook? Game Curly Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So they have Game Curly Girl Cooking on Facebook.
Curly Girl Care.
They have Curly Girl Care on Facebook.
Oz the Gorilla Village.
We have Oz the Gorilla Village. That's our gym. You can see them doing jujitsu and winning all kind of things on that one. So,
And they're all on Instagram.
and then they're all on Instagram as well. And the website that you can order from is yes, curlygirlcare.net.
You heard it here first on the HFWB podcast series. This is the definition of what I would like to call an empire that's ahead of its time and that's only going to continue to expand. I mean, you got health, you got wellness, you got martial arts, you got gummy bears, you got hair and skin products, and it's like there's so much more room to grow. That's what the crazy thing about this is. So I look forward to following y'all's journey and continuing to be a part of it. And I look forward to celebrating what y'all have going on within this 10-day calendar that I actually have right here for Juneteenth for those who are listening.
That's gonna
Y'all
be
need
awesome.
to come out and celebrate this 10-day Juneteenth celebration with us because it's going to be very special for everyone who's here in the Corpus Christi, Texas area. It's going to be wonderful and it's just going to be epic and it's going to be something that's probably never going to be duplicated in quite some time. I can assure you that. With that being said, Hershel, girls, I appreciate y'all for taking time out of y'all's family fun day to be on this episode of the HFWB podcast series. It was truly an honor and I appreciate it. I really do.
Likewise, my
Thank
brother.
you.
We appreciate you.
Lotto.
Yes, yes, indeed. And for those who are listening to the HFWB podcast series, once again, this is your host, Clifton Pope, and with me, just stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day, and until next time, y'all.